dude was a researcher and he went out into the desert. And he was researching this particular kind of wasp. And this wasp lived in a little burrow underneath the ground. Okay? So they would watch this wasp fly out of the nest and go find some food, and then come back to the nest. Let's just say this is a little hole right here. They would come back to the nest, and the wasp would drop the food off at the edge of the hole, their burrow. He would leave the food at the edge, go down inside looking for Boogles, come back up, take the food, and go back down inside. So basically what he was doing is going down just to make sure it was safe before he brought his food down. The researchers watched this wasp do this exact same pattern, this programmed, behaved pattern, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, until they could safely say that, with no exceptions, that wasp will not bring food back to the hole without first going down into the hole, looking for Boogles, coming back up, and getting the food, and then taking it out of the hole. So the scientists wanted to test something out. The wasp comes in, he sets the food down by the hole, he goes down looking for Boogles, and while he was down there looking for Boogles, the scientists took the food and they moved it. So the wasp comes back out of the hole, he sees the food is gone. Oh my God, where's the food? Oh, why is my food over there? He goes and gets the food, he takes the food, he brings the food back over, sets it by the hole, sets it down by the hole, goes down in the hole looking for Boogles, comes back out of the hole to get the food, and the scientists had moved it again. Why is my food over there? He goes over there, gets his food, comes back over here, sets it down, goes down in the hole, look for Boogles, comes back up. The food had been moved again, over and over and over. They repeated this over and over. This test they did over and over and over. And the same exact thing happened every single time they did it. Every single time they did it, the wasp died of starvation. Most of the time with food in its mouth when it perished. Because it was so hardwired, so programmed, so deeply in its brain that it could not take food down in its hole without first going down first and checking for Boogles to make sure it was safe. And then he came back up. So what is a Boogle? Was there ever anything down in that hole? That wasp went down in that hole hundreds and thousands of times and nothing was ever there. But he was programmed by DNA or by society or by whatever programmed him in his ancestry. I'm talking about us too. You're getting that, right? We're the wasp, right? We're the wasp, if you haven't figured that out. This wasp has been programmed to go and look for Boogles before he would bring the food in. So what is a Boogle? A Boogle are those things that aren't even there. That we are so, like, we're not willing to trust that they're not there. The Boogles are the things that aren't real, that scare us, that lie to us, that tell us things. The Boogles is that danger that we believe is there, that it's not there. A Boogle is that voice that says, maybe he did this, and where was he? Maybe he did this because so-and-so did this. Or a Boogle is that thing that says, oh my gosh, I really suck. I'm really bad. Wow, I'm a really horrible person because Boogles can be whatever that shit that goes on in our brain and in our life, that the stuff that's not there, but the stuff that's preventing us from getting nourishment physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, that stuff that is not in there, that's not real, the stuff that we have to go in, that we're so afraid is going to kill us in there, that we're not willing to feed ourselves before we go look for it, that stuff that's in there that keeps us from being the people who we're supposed to be. That's what Boogles are. Shit ain't real. Boogles are not real. But when a Boogle's whispering in your ear, it's real as fuck. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because Boogles typically take their ammunition from the past, from little things that are stored in this vast library we have called the subconscious. And if you really want to understand the subconscious, please come back and check out my other workshops and classes about subconscious, because wow, it's very cool. So Boogles feed from our subconscious, okay? Boogles take all the stuff, all the experiences that we've had. Remember when that dude said this to you and hurt your feelings? Remember when that guy said this? Remember that girl did this? Remember when that teacher said you're stupid? Remember that girl said you're ugly? Remember when that guy said you had funny teeth? Remember that guy said you were selfish and you were an asshole? Remember all these things? All those things, those are fuel for Boogles. They're fuel for them. None of them are fucking real. But we allow them to dictate so much especially in regards to our relationships. Boogles are liars, and I'm here to help you try to learn how to calm the boogles down. First of all, it's important to understand them and know that they're boogles. Have a conversation with your partner about boogles. We talk about boogles all the time. Hey, babe, I got a boogle. Can we talk?